connecting your brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.
What is going on, everybody? Your man Eric Wilson in for the Sports Arena. Yes, on a Monday night. Happy Veterans Day, first and foremost, to everybody who has made the call, who has chosen to protect our country, making us the greatest country in the world, and to those who gave their life so that we could remain the greatest country in the world. We thank you to all our veterans out there. Salute them, give them their flowers, and know that if it wasn't for them, we could not call ourselves truly the United States of America. We got so much to talk about today. I mean, I'm not even going to waste no time. Let me go ahead, first off, and bring a gentleman in who was, in fact, a part of the military. He is a vet. He is our brother. He has been on the show numerous times. Shout out to my man. Denzel Snipes is in the building. Sir, first off, I salute you. Thank you so much for what you have done for this country, man. It is truly a blessing. And thank you for being a part of the Sports Arena here tonight.
Hey, absolutely, man. You know, it's always a pleasure to come on, and sure appreciate you with to all my brothers and sisters out there in arms. Happy Veterans Day to everybody that's active duty, reserve, guard. Hold your head, make something of yourself, and proudly serve and do your duty, and be the absolute best you can be. I had some of the greatest times of my life thus far in the 12 years that I was in. I had some great experiences, made some great connects, made some great friends. My two best friends in the world I met while I was in the military and everything. So one thing about being in the military is not just the duty, it's about life itself. I went in as a 21-year-old kid and I left out a man, and for a lot of us, that's how it happens. And for that, happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. And we sure appreciate your appreciation, Eric.
No, thank you. And along with that, I want to bring another gentleman in here. This man, all I can say to you is when it comes to being dialed in, when it comes to being focused, and when it comes to letting the world know that I'm coming for any and everybody's spot, because I'm going to let you know I'm the best in the business. It's just that simple. I am talking about my man, fresh off of his trip to Houston, in the building tonight, the sports reporter without pay, Ray Lynn. Ray Lynn, man, thank you. Thank you for taking time to be on the show tonight. And I echo the same sentiment that I said to Denzel that I say to you. Thank you for what you've done in giving of service to your home, to your family, and to your country. It is a blessing to have you, bruh. You both know how I feel about y'all, so I'm not gonna get all teared up because we got lots to talk about. But I just want to take an opportunity and say to both of you again, thank you for what y'all have done in making the sacrifice to be a part of our military and defend our country.
I would like to say a few things. One, today is Veterans Day, right? But over the weekend, we also had the Marine Corps birthday. You have veterans, then you have Marines. We a different breed. We special. I just want to say that. That's all. I got more words for Denzel later about how special I am, and he's not. That's all.
Hey, we're not going to waste no time, but let me go ahead and get the last member of the crew in here. ASU, he's a Sun Devil, Jerry, my man, Mike Harritunuto was in the building. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. I'm over yesterday. Congratulations. I love you. I love these.
Oh no.
Wait,
you ain't getting away this easy. No,
I
no,
know.
no, sir.
I'm just saying. Look, we'll get to it, but that's why I got my Pat's Run shirt on. Obviously, Pat Tillman. These two great gentlemen, sir. But Pat Tillman knew him. It is Veterans Day. Service. I mean, obviously, it's tough. Family sacrifice. People serving sacrifice. Family sacrifice. Knowing everybody. So love what these two guys did, and obviously that's why I got my Pat's Run shirt on for that. And yes, he will forever be remembered. And again, the awesome honoring statue inside Sun Devil Stadium is phenomenal. So for all these guys, these two awesome gentlemen that served, and everybody else, like I said, for a long time, like we thank them, like you said, for what they do and what they've done, because we're not living in this country doing certain things if the armed forces did.
Yeah, facts. All right, you know what? Like I said, we ain't gonna waste no time. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right to it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about it. The game last night, Sunday Night Football. Like I said, this man right here was in the building on the 50-yard line watching his Detroit Lions take on Denzel's Houston Texans. Now, what I will say is this, to me, was a game of two halves, because I watched this game intently, and I even reached out to both these guys prior to the show tonight here on the Sports Arena, and I was like, yo, if y'all can make it, please be on the show, because this, to me, was a matchup that I was waiting and dying to see. And so when I watched this, I was like, okay, I'm paying attention. Like when I tell you I was watching the game, I was watching the game. And from the start, it looked as though both these teams were going to give us what I hope to be a preview of New Orleans this February. That necessarily didn't happen to be the case. It turned out to, like I said, it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, it seemed like both defenses came to play. Offenses had to figure out what they were trying to accomplish. And Houston got the upper hand, so much so that I was like, okay, Detroit going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat in order for this to happen. And even though Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, now granted, there were some tip balls, things happen, I get that. But more importantly, Detroit's defense was like, we ain't leaving Houston like this. We're going to let y'all know who we are. The fact that Houston did not score a single point the entire second half of the game, so much so that Detroit came back and won the game, I was like, what in the blue, no pun intended, hell did I just watch? So I'm going to go to the man who was there first, because I need to know, Ray, from your lens, from your eyes, what in the world was going through your mind as this game went from start to finish?
Hold on. I was trying to do something. I lost my screen. I can't see y'all. Hold on. Oh.
All right, we got a little technical difficulty.
No, I'm here. I can hear, but I can't get my screen back right.
That's all right. No worries, brother. We're going to take a minute. Let Ray get situated and get fixed. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. technical difficulties, crisis averted. We got everybody back in here. Of course, I got my man Denzel Snipes in the building. My man Mike Caratanudo's in the building. And the sports reporter without pay, Ray Lynn, is with us. So, Ray, I'm going to turn the floor over to you, my brother.
I just want you to share my screen, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Down the sideline. Still running. Down at the
Hey, you know the Lions won again, bitch. You know the Lions won again. Another one. You know the Lions won again. That's what we do. All we do is fucking win. Come on, bitch. You know the Lions won again.
You can turn it off. I just wanted him to know. You know what I'm saying? The Lions won again. So listen, I wasn't worried ever. And I like people, it's easy in the aftermath to say, oh, I knew it. It wasn't I knew it, but I never felt like they were just flat out outplaying us. In fact, at halftime, I looked at everybody around me who was looking sad, and I said, they're in trouble. Like, and I'm gonna tell you why I said it. For how we played the first half, we should have been down 30. We should have been down 30. We get even the last 7, we gave it to them. I was in the stands pissed at the play calling when I think you guys punted it with about 2 minutes left. Mm-hmm. And then we called 3 runs. It was like we were content with going into the locker room down 16-7. And then we punted them the ball and they marked out, they walked down the field and scored, right? So now we're down 23-7. And I'm thinking to myself, everybody said Goff threw 5 picks. He did, in fact, throw 5 picks, but the first one was a batted ball. Second one was a batted ball. And the third one was a Hail Mary at the end of the quarter, right? And it's like, so is he playing awful? Probably not. The statistics say so, but I'm sitting there watching it in real time. A batted ball, interception, another batted ball by 2-3 people, falls in somebody's hands, interception, and a Hail Mary at the end of a quarter. Statistics say 3 interceptions. I say he ain't thrown a bad one yet. Then in the second half, he threw 2 bad ones.
Those were bad. Very bad, right? And I'm going to tell you what's really crucial about the 2 in the second half. They both came on possessions immediately after Stroud threw interceptions. Immediately after. Like, if y'all were watching it in real time, I didn't see it until I went back and watched the highlights, right? They're talking, they're doing a coach's interview, and Dan Campbell was like, well, our defense, we just got to play hard. We can get a couple of takeaways, blah, first pass. Boom, they're still talking, and we get an interception. 3 plays later, Goff throws an interception. A couple possessions later, Stroud goes down the field, airs one out. Dude is wide open, but he lost it in the air. Same guy. Another interception. And then we get the ball. Goff throws an interception. So it's like both of Goff interceptions to me was like field flips. He threw interceptions deep in their territory. It was like he didn't throw it and give him great field position. So I looked at him like from a football mind standpoint, they were just as good as punts.
Miss would have been punt, yeah.
Yeah, right. So other than that, the difference in the first and second half for me was our defense stepped up in a major way. We pitched a shutout. And then the running game got going. Like, because both like Mixon and then our dual-headed monster with Gibbs and Montgomery were both kind of stymied in the first half. And it was like that when you wear them down, that Derrick Henry style where, like, Montgomery's out there beating them up. Them legs got a little weary, and then Gibbs cut up in that fourth quarter. And it was one of those things where, like, you're watching it happen. Remember in Waterboy when she told the guy, this is going to be the final score, and you just keep watching the score change and change. It was like, they're in trouble. Like, we played as bad a half of football as we can play. Offense didn't get it going. Defense gave up 23, right? And I'm like, man, it don't feel like we out of this game. And then, if you was watching it, and as I told y'all on my live, by the fourth quarter, it turned into a home game for us. If you were listening, by the fourth quarter, it felt like we was in Ford Field, man. We had, I don't know if y'all could hear it, like we had the crowd chanting Jared Goff.
Ray, they were chanting they were talking. Tony Dungy mentioned it on the post-game show. I don't know if you stuck around. I mean, not that you could hear him from where they were talking, but
he walked past me.
When the field goal kick went up, though, they were him and Collinsworth and Harrison. When the field goal kick went up, they were standing, and where Tony Dungy, they were getting ready. He thought he missed it because the crowd was so loud, but then he turned around and he saw all the Detroit fans cheering.
Yeah, man. Like in that fourth quarter, when you got the guy when you got Stroud doing this, oh man, listen. I mean, it's more to it. Like Detroit did a whole
takeover thing. I told Denzel about. I tried to link up with him, but he was out, doing
You didn't
whatever.
shoot me the address to the after party. You were supposed to.
But
that's on you.
When I talked to him, he said, "Man, I was out at a place last night and saw a lot of y'all." Detroit started pulling up on Thursday. Man, we was at every club, every restaurant, every bar. And then at the game, man, it was probably 60-40. But then as the game got closer, it felt like it was 60-40 our way, man. We were louder than them, right? And then you got the Texans losing confidence. I mean, listen, nothing happened in that game to make me come down off of my stance that we are, in fact, the best team in football. Because now...
But that proved it, though. What y'all did last night...
We won an ugly game. We won an ugly game.
That's fine. But it was a game that when you look at the matchup, okay, and when you look at this team, the Detroit Lions, a team that has just been rolling, and you look at a team like the Houston Texans, a team that is really only, 2 years? 2 years with C.J. Stroud.
And the coach.
And DeMeco Ryan. And look at where they're at. I know when you marked that on your calendar, it was like, oh, this is going to be a dogfight. This is going to be a game.
So y'all saw I went to the Seattle game. Yeah, when I found out I was going to go to this game, I said, this is going to be a game.
Right.
And my best friend, he said, they good like that? I said, man, the Texans are tough. Coming to the game, we're 7-1, they're 6-3, right? Like, the funny thing is, we were rolling. I don't think we've seen the Texans play their best football at all this season. Not against us, not against anybody, right?
So let me go to Denzel because I want to get your thoughts on this because this is your team, a team that, right now, and I'll say this, it is your division to lose, okay? That's exactly what it is. Y'all got a home playoff game. I know we're only in week 10, but let's just call it what it is. Because between the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans, sorry, Cortland and Mike Patton, it just ain't happening. So we tried to tell y'all in preseason, but whatever. But for you, specifically, Denzel, when you see what your team did and then did not do, what are you feeling like almost 24 hours after the fact?
So y'all know I'm a real fan. I'm not ducking no smoke or anything like that. So with that being said, let me allow the time to tell everyone what the Detroit Lions are and what the Texans are not. First of all, what the Detroit Lions are. They are undoubtedly the best team in the NFL. This is the only team, not even the Chiefs. This is the only team who has beaten opponents in 3 different ways. They can dominate you. They can come from behind and win. They can blow a big lead and then some way find a way to win. See the Minnesota game. So when it comes to the Lions, you literally have to play 60 minutes of football. I think that is the only team in the league in which you have to do that. Some people may say the Chiefs, that's cool. I think the Lions are a tougher team, okay? Now, with that being said, let me tell you what the Texans are not. Because before the season, and I want y'all to know, Stroud's my guy, Ryans is my guy, this is on me through and through. But I'm a realist about my team, okay? People were saying before the season, oh, the Texans, oh, man, they're close to a Super Bowl. No, we are not. We are not ready yet. We are not ready yet. Because as far as I can see, so far, Stroud is 0-2 versus Lamar. He has yet to see Mahomes. And in a game against the best team in the NFL, we gave up 18 or 19 points to lose the game. So we're not there yet. We're on our way, but we're not there yet. Now, Eric, you're right. It may as well be our division to lose. We still got 3 division games left at Jacksonville and the 2 Tennessee games. So we're already 2.5 games up on the Colts. We're probably favored to win the division. But we have a backloaded schedule here. Now, next Monday night, we're going against the Dakless Cowboys, but also we host the Ravens on Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, and we're at Arrowhead. So this second half of the schedule is going to tell a lot about us, and it's going to be on us to play 60 minutes of football. There was only one game in which we was run off the field, and that was the Minnesota game. Ray's right. We haven't played our best football yet. We haven't, and somehow we're 6-3. The Jets game, somehow the Jets have our number. I don't know what it is, but also their defense is for real. And then we had the Lions game where we were up 23-7, and then there was an interception that Ray didn't highlight. We had an opportunity to go up 30-7. Dell was wide open, and the defensive back made a hell of a play with that comeback speed. Do I think Stroud could have sailed a little bit more? Sure, but no. Hats off to that defender. And last but not least, I may be on an island, but Ray, that Branch guy is in the DPOY conversation. To me, he is.
Absolutely. Three things on something you said, because I know Mike got to get in here. One, that's the interception I was talking about when I said Stroud. I don't think he should have sailed it more. He probably should have put some heat on it. Like, if you look, man, that dude was open for miles. Him sailing it is what allowed the defensive back to get there. Two, you said you guys are playing. Who y'all play next?
We got the Cowboys next Monday night.
That's a win.
They still playing professional football?
Barely. They're not.
Hey, this is my no.
Detroit managed to come back against the Texans, and they managed to get a touchdown down in Dallas yesterday too. It's awesome.
By the way, 6-4. By the way, not 6-3. Two things. You said they got a. You think they'll get a home playoff game?
Yes.
I don't know. Because you're gonna have. Let's just for now. Let's say if the Chiefs get the bye, right? Okay. Now you have Houston competing with Buffalo, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore for those home games.
Well, only
if they
one.
win their division, they get a home game.
But if you win your division, you get a playoff game.
Oh, you automatic. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yes, it's automatic. Yeah.
Okay, which is stupid, but yeah. Like so, even if the Ravens have a better record like they do right now,
right?
Houston would get the home game. Okay,
yes,
yeah, automatically. And listen, I will say this: my first time being there, that stadium. One, the stadium's legit. Two, the whole atmosphere is something special, man. Like it's different going to another stadium, right? Like, and especially when you're losing because you're sitting there looking stupid, right? You're like, man, this is not good. And they fans is going crazy, man. They fire them cannons when they score, and they're loud. My PTSD was acting up and everything, man. Like, but y'all listen, the hospitality was great in Houston. It's something, man, to be really nice to people knowing they're about to punch your head in. So, like, you guys were very nice to us, man. I loved it. I can't wait to go back to Houston just to go. But yeah, man, I somebody brought up a very interesting thing to me about CJ Stroud. They said he was mediocre, and I said, you're tripping. They said, look at CJ Stroud versus top-ranked defenses as opposed to bottom-ranked defenses. So I had to go look at it myself. I will save y'all the time to say, just look it up when you get a chance. Look at what he does versus any defense ranked in the top 15 versus what he does against defenses in the bottom 15. It's alarming, actually. It's very alarming. I will say that.
Now, I will say this much. We had no Will Anderson last night, no Diggs is out for the year, and no Nico Collins. And we still gave the Lions a game. So just imagine when I know Diggs is out for the year, but we should be getting Nico back next week, and Will Anderson should be good to go also. So injury bug hit at the wrong time as well.
So my question, and then I want to get moving. Ray, 3 years ago, I was telling you, the Detroit Lions fan, you need to watch this team. You need to pay attention to your team. And you were like, we're not there yet. I'm hearing those same things come from Denzel saying, we're not there yet. You being in that stadium, do you feel that this Houston, Texas team is reminiscent of 2 years ago when I was telling you about your Detroit Lions and how everybody needs to pay attention?
No, actually, you know what this Houston Texans is reminiscent of? Honestly, they're reminiscent of the old Houston Texans. Because back then, man, I was a huge fan of the Houston Texans. I used to tell everybody, man, Matt Schaub, Arian Foster, Andre Johnson, these boys are tough. And then, shameless plug, my wife's cousin, Mario, was playing for, like, they always had talent, right? And I used to be like, man, if these guys could just put it together. And I think the thing for them was in this league, man, you got to have a guy. Like, your quarterback has to be a dog. And I think Schaub was the problem. I think if you put a dog back there with Arian Foster and Andre Johnson, like that team, because the defensive side of the ball was never a problem in Houston. So back then, they were this young up-and-coming team like, man, they're talented. They're kind of scary. You remember, Denzel probably knows, every year people was like, the Texans going to be coming this year. Every single year. He's a Dallas fan.
They drafted too. And on defense, the guys they brought in.
Cushing, J.J. Watt, like those guys always drafted well. The talent always panned out. And it was like they always was just a piece away. And I think the piece was under center. And now I think they have a guy Lo and behold, who would have thought it would have been somebody from Ohio State, right? They have a guy that you go, man, he has it. He got the tools, right? So they remind me more of that team, right? They went and got Joe Mixon. That's your Arian Foster. They got Nico Collins. Well, that's your Andre Johnson. Defensive side of the ball. Them boys get after it. They was talking about that coming into this game, that the Texans have the set coming into the game against Detroit. They were number 2 in the league as far as yards given up. And we felt that in the first half. Man, we couldn't move the ball for nothing. Yep. Granted, I think we have the best offensive coordinator in football. That's why at halftime I wasn't worried. I was like, he'll make adjustments, and he did. But the Texans are, again, they're on the cusp, right? Like, again, and I've said this, man, guys like Lamar Jackson being an MVP very early, Mahomes being an MVP, winning Super Bowls. Quarterbacks don't have the length of time that they used to have where we can wait on results. CJ Stroud gave you results as a rookie. So we already knew who and what he is. This team is probably a year away from really, really, I'm talking making some noise. The only problem the Texans are going to have, if you're talking quarterbacks, right? He said he hasn't beat Lamar. He ain't seen Pat Mahomes. If you have CJ Stroud, you can put your cards on the table and say we'd go to war with him every day. But guess what? When you get to the playoffs, you're going to war with Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. You talking about
he's backloaded.
I still don't know why Aaron Rodgers went to the AFC. I don't. So, they're going to have to be like my Lions and be able to beat you in a multitude of ways. When he said we can beat you multiple ways, he was talking about how the game goes. But we can beat you defensively. Yep. Where a defensive guy makes 2 or 3 huge plays, where Aiden Hutchinson has 5 sacks in the game. Or we can beat you with Goff going 18 for 18. Or we can beat you with David Montgomery getting 100 yards rushing and 40 yards receiving. Or we can beat you with Gibbs going crazy. Or Amon-Ra St. Brown can go crazy. Or Jameis Williams can go crazy. Or our rookie tight end sets records. We have so many weapons and so many ways to beat you. Our defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, both phenomenal. And then I think we have the best coach in football.
And the best offensive line in football. Eric, I'll just keep it quick as I echoed Ray's all my thoughts anyway. But the best offensive line in football, because remember, Ray, we were talking man, Kyle Pitts is right there. I can't see not taking him. But when they took Penei Sewell, I just looked at you and said, yep. That guy's going to be killing people. And the other thing for Detroit, too, that I'll say, and even the Texans, I agree with you, because then when they had Andre Johnson, they drafted mine and E's guy. Ray forgot to mention him. DeAndre Hopkins got drafted, and then he was on the other side of Andre Johnson. So I know Denzel, you love that. Yeah. And plus, when Andre Johnson beat the crap out of what was that?
Cortland Finnegan.
Cortland Finnegan. Yeah, that was funny because Cortland Finnegan thought he was going to take him. You don't mess with Andre Johnson. But anyway, I digress to this game. Yeah, look, the Lions can win defensively. The secondary, because last year, when you and I were talking him up, and Ray's like, no, let's just wait. I know the secondary, because we pointed it out, sometimes was the issue last year. But man, you throw 5, like you said, and bat it or not, and I've always said, and it's annoying to me how it's always a quarterback, even though everything's for the offense, how if a ball gets batted, or it gets tipped, or literally the receiver has it in his hands, it's an interception on the quarterback. But to battle back from that, and for Dan Campbell to say it, and the defense just does it. Either way, to hold the Texans, and the offensive line is much better than when Deshaun Watson was there, because they got, the numbers he put up, and the fact that, before, he started having all the trouble, and Denzel, we talked about that a while back, his numbers were sick. The offensive line was just absolutely terrible. So for him to do that was even better, because like Deshaun Watson, this guy should be able to deliver for the Texans. But what they have in CJ Stroud, and Eric knows it's very hard. I'm glad Ray took the Ohio State shot, because Eric, it's hard for me to say that about Ohio State quarterbacks. But this Detroit team, the way that they are never out of a game, even when, again, 5 interceptions. The one thing I said last night, when you get to the playoffs, if you tipped or batted or not, you throw 5 picks, it's going to be tougher to win. But that defense is just chokeholding people now. And yeah, with Gibbs and Montgomery, you can take that offensive line and choke them out. Plus, Ray, lastly, the best sign of the night last night on TV was the kneecap Dan Campbell soup banner. I don't know if you saw it from where you were sitting, but that was badass. The kneecap soup, and I just loved how Tarico and Collins was like, I don't know how that would taste, but we got the kneecap soup can there. So on that banner, that was awesome. But look, I love both teams. Again, the Texans too. I could see what you're saying, and you're going up against these quarterbacks. But the Texans get there and get a home game. And obviously in the AFC, they won't be playing Detroit, so Detroit can take over another stadium. I mean, they did here in Arizona too. So Denzel, I know how that goes, man. I saw a lot of blue.
They travel well. They took over Arlington. They travel really well. When they went and played the Cowboys, they was in there too.
Anybody takes over Arlington.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. You know what?
I'm just
Hey, now I ain't say all that.
Hey,
I'll
Eric,
say it. Yes, sir.
Eric, just because y'all brought it up, I don't know if y'all saw this over the weekend. Can you share that I just put in there? This is for real. This isn't photoshopped or anything. Andre Johnson over the weekend, I think over the weekend or something like that, was signing. They built statues of the fight with him and Cortland Finnegan, and he was signing them. Like that happened for real.
That's
like
awesome.
He's
Cortland
signing.
Finnegan was a good player, but he's such a punk. And I met Andre Johnson when I saw him in the Rose Bowl, and we actually got down and went when they destroyed Nebraska, when it should have been Oregon playing Miami for the national title. That's neither here nor there. But talking to Andre Johnson then, and just seeing how quiet he was and dominant, like that dude, the fact that Cortland Sutton kept jacking with his helmet and got under his skin, I'm like, dude, and then he to the ground, and I'm like, yeah, now you want your teammates to come over and help you because Andre's going to kick your ass.
Eric, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Because I'm looking at our schedule. We have Jacksonville, I think the Colts and the Bears coming up. We very well could be 11-1, right? Trap games always happen. We could be 10-2. A couple of years ago, you talked about being scared of my line. I kept saying we just not. I said at that time was there, and even last year I said we're really good. I don't think we can beat San Francisco. That came to fruition. I'm not scared of nobody this year, but we could be on a collision course with y'all. What would be your thoughts on that? Because I'm not. San Francisco don't.
Listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this. I'm in too great of a mood to really sit down and start breaking down Eagles Lions. But trust and believe, it is in the back of my head. I want to table that conversation, but I'll give you this, and this is all I'm going to say about you. I told you when we played each other week 1, and the score was 38-35. I knew then.
2 years ago. Yeah.
2 years ago. I knew then who Detroit was because, as I said then, you established your identity to me that day. And Philly had to get their sugar honey iced tea together to compete against the Detroits of the world. Not the San Franciscos, not the Green Bays, not the Minnesotas, not the Dallases, not the Washingtons of the world. To compete against the Detroits of the world. You're talking about a team, and I've been running into the Detroit fans left and right now. You're talking about a team that reminds me of the team that I have on my arm. The 2017-2018 Philadelphia Eagles, where y'all ain't letting nothing, and I mean nothing, stand, be in your way. We're going to table this for a later time because when that happens, and I fully anticipate it happening, that's going to be a day that we're going to truly need a referee because you talk about and I talk about you being focused, dialed in, and always prepared. That will be the day, Ray, where you and I truly will square up. Because if I know one thing about my team is we are hungry when we are at our worst. We're not there, but we got a tall task when we run into y'all.
I would just
know that was a lot.
I would just say to you, be careful what you ask for. You better ask these other two dudes on this broadcast how it went when they ran into us this year.
Oh, I know. I know.
I called you at the end of the third quarter and said I wanted to call it halftime, but I just couldn't call it halftime.
We got to keep going here. Gentlemen,
right.
I got to ask this question because it just seems to be like every single week when we think things are going to change, they remain the same. When is their luck going to run out? 2-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, the last team to be undefeated in the NFL at this stage of the game. We are in November, and the Chiefs are undefeated still. Mike, when's their luck going to run out?
I would say this Sunday against Buffalo up in Orchard Park. You know what? And credit to the special teams for blocking because a lot of people were breaking that down today, and I watched some breakdown, and I'll just keep this quick. Like I said it to you. Remember, Eric, we were talking 2 weeks ago. And I'm saying I'm so sick, college and pro, of these teams just playing for that field goal. Yes, I understand where you are, but you just hit another pass. You've kept it close. You had the lead most of the game. Like, Bo Nix hits a pass, move him around. Go for forget the touch. They had no more timeouts left. And again, people can say percentages. You can tell me all the analytics and crap you want. Like I said to you 2 weeks ago, I expect more from Sean Payton. Like, score a damn touchdown. They have no timeouts left. Yeah, you say to Bo Nix, if it's not there, chuck it out of the back of the end zone. Don't even leave it close. Just chuck it. Then kick the field goal from there. Attempt the field goal from there. But I get so sick and tired. And in college, the last 2 years, and I mean, I know we're going to get to the Niners game, but you miss so many field goals. Like, the Chiefs, the special teams came through at some point. Like, and I agree. When you said this luck run out, like, it just kills me. This whole analytics thing. Oh, let's play for a field goal, but then blame the kicker, blame the holder. It gets blocked. It's a bad snap. Like, you're right there. If you're on the 40-yard line, I'm not having this conversation with you guys. But you know how pissed off I was 2 weeks ago, because it's like, whoever missed a field, it's like, you're playing for the damn field goal. Like, no. Would you do that in the first? Like I said to you the other week, and I'll leave you guys on this. Last thing I'm going to say is props to the Chiefs. Are you playing for a field goal in the first, second, or third quarter there? So I did look, more power to them. Denver, I mean, gave it to them. They're young, and Denver's defense been playing out of their minds. And you can say their schedule was soft. They just went toe-to-toe with, like you said, the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. But I think Buffalo. I think it's this week in Buffalo. It'll still be. I mean, it'll be a hell of a game. Can't wait to
If
watch
it doesn't happen in Buffalo, Denzel, does it happen December 21st in Arrowhead against your Texans?
Now, see, this is because when Ray talked about the old Texans, right? And that took me way back, because it's like we were like almost there, and then we'd run into Tom Brady. Or we'd run into, I don't know, the Steelers or something like that, you know. This is exactly what I'm talking about. And what we have to do is we have to beat the Pat Mahomes of the world. We have to beat the Lamar Jacksons of the world. We've beaten Burrow. We've beaten Josh Allen this year, you know. We got to beat the top-tier teams in the AFC. I think the Texans can steal one in Arrowhead. I do. But they must play 60 minutes of football, and do not let the game come down close to a call, because we've seen how that goes. We gotta win. We gotta win by like 10 points. We just do. Whatever theory people want to come up with, whatever people got analytics about teams, I get that. We gotta win by at least 10 points. We just have to. We cannot let it get into the hands of the refs, because people are gonna get the chirping, and you know how that goes. I don't even want to go there right now, okay?
No, I feel you.
But with that being said, we gotta win. I'm not saying we're gonna blow them out by 28 points or anything like that. Mahomes just typically doesn't get blown out like that. I know it's gonna be a dogfight of a game, but we have to win comfortably, is all I'm saying. But do I think we can still win an Arrowhead? Yes, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, you know what? If it doesn't happen in Buffalo, I think we can do it. And then people will talk, and then if we win, the Detroit game's gonna get brought back up. So what, y'all can finish games now? What's going on? But typically you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes and everything. But you know how the analytics talk. But I think the Texans can do it though.
All right. My brother, I appreciate your time tonight here on the Sports Arena. Thank you so much for rocking with us. Again, much love to you, man. Hey, really quick, take 30 seconds, let the people know where they can find you, and we will definitely holler at you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So let's see. Denzel Snipes on Facebook, Unconventional King 13 on Instagram, Twitter, NellyNell13, NELLI, NEL13. Also, as you can see on the Sideline Sports Network, tune in, follow us and everything for all our great shows. Hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube for more shows, events, and everything. Because Super Bowl's coming up, we're going to be down there and everything. And then also just other events that may pop up as well. So definitely tune in. Also, Gauntlet Sports Media on Facebook, and tune into the Gauntlet as well.
Much love, brother. We're going to holler at you. Thank you so much. Ray.
Sir.
Chiefs luck. Is it going to run out?
Is it luck? Like, so, like, at what point, like, I guess this is one of those how you feel about them, right? When a team is really, really good, i.e. the Patriots dynasty, right? The Cowboys in the 90s, even your Eagles run, right? Like when they went to have many like NFC championship games, right? When a team is consistently good, you start saying things like good teams find a way to win games. And that's what the Chiefs are doing. It's semi-reminiscent of your Eagles last year. You remember all year we kept saying, man, they just don't, they're winning games, but they don't seem, because we've become so accustomed to the Super Bowl year where they were, man, Eagles were just blowing people off the field. It was like, yo, they're just better than everybody. Like you knew in about week 11, they're on a collision course with Kansas City for a Super Bowl. Well, actually, people didn't know that. Kansas City wasn't looking that good that year. But when you have 15 in the AFC, you just assume, right? So then last year it was like, man, if you're a fan of the Eagles, you go, we're winning games like this. What are they going to do when we put it together? And it just never happened. I feel the same way about Kansas City. Like if they're beating people now like this, we've all seen that when it matters most, 15 turns into Superman. Like he really put that S on his chest. Kelsey comes out. Like man, for all the people that complain about the refs and this, that, and the third, like you say, maybe you don't leave it in the refs and you don't have a problem. The refs didn't win that game for the Chiefs yesterday. Like their special teams went out and made a play that's going to be made 1 out of 100 times, right? If you look at some of the, like even the throw Mahomes made on 3rd and 13 or something like that, like he's falling backwards and he just floats one and the receiver has to come back to it and he gets 18. It's like they prove time and time again they just find a way to win. And now they're not the Chiefs we're used to. So they're not blowing people off the field like I was saying about your Eagles. So we look at it as luck. But they're becoming like what I'm saying about my Lions. They can beat you any which way. They can hand it to Kareem Hunt 25 times. Mahomes can go for 300 if and when he needs to. We know he's capable. But their defense is good. And now their special teams is winning games, right? Like, it's like, man, that's not even fair.
And that's right? I don't want to sound like I was taking it away from their special teams, Ray. I just, like
I knew what your point was.
I hate the way coaches are doing that, even in college, because if we're coaching, Ray, I'm looking at you. If I'm the coordinator, you look at me like, get a freaking touchdown. Like you're in that area. Like they have no timeouts. Score a freaking touchdown. Like,
it's hard for me to say that when my team just did it yesterday and we won. We literally had the ball and ran the clock down and waited till 4 seconds and kicked the field goal. And we kicked a long field goal too. Right. And from where I was sitting, it looked like it was straight in. And I looked at the replays like, wow,
yeah,
like it was. You know what I mean? Like so. Yeah. I understand the logic, man. Like, you play a long game, 60 minutes. You want to get your guys out of there, right? You don't want to score with time left and then have to put your defense back on the field to save the game. You just want to kick it and get it. So I understand it. I see both sides of it, though, right? But the Chiefs, man, it's hard to say. It's hard for me to say a team, because now when we look at the Chiefs, there are 3 mainstays, right? Maybe 4 if you start getting into the trenches. But right, when you talk to the familiar faces, the people we identify with the Kansas City Chiefs, you're talking Mahomes to Kelsey with Andy Reid with the clipboard, right? And that has proven to be, it's Sirianni, right? Is Sirianni over there?
No, Sirianni's in Florida.
Not Sirianni. That's not. I'm not saying the right name. I'm not saying Spagnuolo. Yeah, that I completely just said.
Spags on defense. Yeah,
right. Y'all know what I meant. Like, so you got Andy Reid, like. Even with, it's funny, we're seeing that Eric Bieniemy might have meant a little more to that team than we thought, because the offense ain't been the same since Bodigo. Is because Bieniemy left or because Tyreek Hill left? We don't know. But the offense isn't that high-powered, blow you off the field offense. But now Spags got this defense playing like lights out, and now 15 can just relax most of the game and turn into Superman when he needs to. It's hard for me to say a team that, as I always point out, Eric, and you always reiterate it, a guy whose basement has been the AFC Championship game since he became a full-time starter. 5 AFC Championship games, 4 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl wins. It's hard for me to say, and that's in the last 5 years, right? It's hard for me to say anything they do is luck. It's like, that's a lot of luck, man. I don't know. So if you're just
that part talking this season, that part not luck, Ray. But Eric, I like when you presented to us today the word luck, because with Mahomes, 100% agree. Quarterbacks can throw it. But, I mean, he's got, 12, 13 touchdown passes on the year and 9 picks? Like,
no, he's playing awful, and they're undefeated, man.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, I'm not going to say awful. I get it. Like,
no, he's playing awful. By his standards, he's playing awful.
Okay, yes, with what he's done, I right. But that's the thing. So when you coin it so smoothly, and for being an Eagles fan, I'm always impressed that you can do that, Eric.
You know what? You ain't got no room to talk today.
I know,
you have
but
no
I
room
might
to
as
talk
well
today.
enjoy it
Trey
while
Lance.
I got a second. But
all right, Trey Lance.
No, oh, exactly. He'll yeah, I'll take that at this point. Anyway, but no, when you all kidding aside, when you face like when you see Mahomes like look again, like you're saying, like way below average for what he does, and you win these games, and obviously Chris Jones to add to your list too, Ray. Chris Jones in the middle on defense, like he's rushing you, double team it, he's still getting there, like he's still doing it. And Spags, I mean, this year, and it's different, Eric. That's the one thing I will say I agree with not like, because usually it's no matter if he's got guys back or not, it starts like week 9, 10 and goes into the playoffs. This year it started like week 1, 2. Like the defense was like, okay, like we're not screwing around anymore. And I'm not saying they were, but we've always known, we've always said that. You and I said that for a long time, Eric. So yeah, I mean, when we say luck like that to Mahomes standards, but like I said, 12, 13 touchdowns and 9 picks. And I mean, and even yesterday probably wouldn't be talking about it, because post game, to your point, Ray, he said if he hits Kelsey, he missed him on a touchdown. He missed Xavier Worthy on a touchdown as well. I mean, they were right there. So he's like, I get the ball there. That's on me. But I mean, and again, that's 2 more touchdowns, and we're not even talking about a blocked field goal because Denver's way behind.
All right, man. I just think he's earned that from us, that like until somebody emphatically knocks them off, shout out Detroit, like we just gonna have to assume that this is, I mean, you got to take it
done though. My point is, we've seen it happen in years past when this team has played better than what they're playing now. And it just seems like this year, like you said, in every phase, they are showing you when we need 15 to be 15, when we need Clark Kent to be Superman, he gonna step up.
Jesus
when we
Christ.
need Travis Kelce to be that dude to get that first down so that Harrison Butker can kick the game-winning field goal, they can make that magic happen. And it's not even magic anymore. It's just they just go make that particular play. All right.
And you know what's really scary, Eric? This is the last thing I'll say on that.
Sure.
He gets emphatically better in the playoffs. Like, looking. The 3 Super Bowl runs, Mahomes had passer ratings for the entire run, 111.5, 114.7, and 100.3. He leads the NFL all time. I think he's 105.8 in postseason like that. He gets unbelievable in the postseason, man. So it's like y'all about to, the way they're playing, they're going to get a bye, and then it's going to go through Arrowhead again, and good luck with that.
Yeah. All right. I did want to talk Bucs 49ers, but we'll save that for another time because that game had a lot of questions that I was just wanting to get some answers to. But I got 2 more topics that I want to get through, and I promised everybody I'm going to do an Eric's rant tonight, so I got to get that out the way. So I want to stay in the AFC. Gentlemen, simple question. Who's winning the AFC North? Pittsburgh or Baltimore?
Ravens.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Mike, who's winning?
Yeah, narrowly, I'm with Ray. I say Ravens. I'm not doubting. You know me. I'm not doubting Mike Tomlin, but I like Lamar playing out of his mind like he is, and giving the ball you give the ball to Derrick Henry more, and I mean Zay Flowers is looking like who they want to draft. So yeah, I go. But the Steelers, they're going to play defense. They're going to punch the hell out of you in the mouth, and Russell Wilson dropping rainbows in again for touchdowns. I mean, his first game with Mike Williams. That's pretty sick. But yeah, it's hard to not say the Ravens. But
here's the interesting fact. Here's the interesting fact. Do you know, beginning this Sunday coming up, the 17th, the Steelers, 5 of their next 6 games are all division games.
Yep.
They got the Ravens, the Browns, the Bengals, the Browns. They come to Philadelphia. They go to Baltimore. All before Christmas. They haven't even sniffed divisional play. Then they got the Chiefs, and they finish up in Cincinnati. So 6 of their last 8 we will find out who Pittsburgh is.
You
And
said
listen,
6 of their last 8. All 8.
well, yes, but their 6 division games are from now until the end of the season. Some teams have already played divisional games. Steelers still have not.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not gonna say lucky. The Steelers should be hoping to get out of these next 8 games 4-4. That would be to get out of this 4-4 would be phenomenal.
Well, they'll get the Browns.
That's the thing, man. Those division games are tough. Like the Browns just went out and they just went to beat Baltimore.
You preaching to the choir, because what do I always say? Throw the rule book, the playbook, and every other book out the window when it comes to divisional play, because anything and everything is and will be possible and probably happen.
I'm not doubting. Just want to beat Baltimore. Yeah,
I'm just
saying.
That's
a tough schedule, man. That's tough.
The way Tomlin has this team, like he always does, but now having Russell Wilson, having George Pickens, like Mike said, having Mike Williams, and it can actually run the ball. And then that defense, come on. I have to say that Pittsburgh, there is a chance, and something in me is saying to me, we're going to watch these games. Let's just take these next 4 from now until December 8th. Cleveland twice, Bengals, Ravens. We gonna know who this team is. If they come out, Ray, let me ask you this question. You said 4-4 of the next 8. Let's cut that in half. Take these next 4 division games. If they come out 3-1, will you begin to change your mind about the Pittsburgh Steelers if they come out of this 3-1?
I want to make sure we understand it. I don't have a negative outlook of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, I know you don't. You don't.
Yes, I think it's going to win the division. And I'm saying Baltimore simply because, for a few reasons. One, Baltimore, right, has right now 2 of the top 4 MVP candidates in the league. Like, they have 2 guys playing at an unbelievable level. And I'm always going to go with the star power, because when the stuff hit the fan, you want a guy that you can say, hey, like in basketball, hey, give me the ball and get out of the way. Right? Lamar's the guy, like he's the X factor. But then you got Derrick Henry too. They have 2, like if you line up the Steelers and Baltimore and say, here are all the players, the top 2 players are on Baltimore side. And they're on the side of the ball that matters the most. The guys that got to put up the points. And when they both get going, man, and now Lamar he's having a Mahomes type season. 266 yards a game, completing 69% of the passes, 24 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's crazy. 113 passer rating. And he still can do it with his legs. And I've been his biggest critic for the longest. He's doing everything that I said, man, if he work on that, he's going to be special. Now he's playing special. And then Derrick Henry has had a resurgence. I just think they're super tough. Who were their 3 losses against? They started off 0-2, and I think they were still trying to figure out the dynamics between those 2. They looked uncomfortable next to each other. Lamar's a shotgun read option guy. Derrick Henry's an I formation under center, handed to me, let me run between the tackles guy. So they had to figure out a balance between those 2. And then once they did, man, they snuck past the Cowboys. Then they smoked Buffalo. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Washington, who's proven to be very good this year. Beat Tampa Bay and mess around and lost to freaking Cleveland. Like I said, them division games are tough. Then they snuck 2 wins on Cincinnati. A combined 4 points in those 2 wins, right? Yep. They got a bye left on their schedule. They play the Giants. I mean, their schedule's no better. They get Philly as well. It's crazy. Eric, you asked this question. Your team plays a huge part in who wins the AFC North.
Since you brought that up,
they do.
Who wins the NFC East?
Eagles.
Well, I reserve the right to remain biased on this, but we will find out Thursday night between these 2 teams, because short week for both. And now with Washington coming off a loss and us being Philadelphia being the only team to win this week in the NFC East.
I hope it ends up a tie. Ray, they both can't lose, but it could end up in a tie.
But Washington, listen, Jaden Daniels, that young brother is for real. And the crazy thing is, I feel like y'all were saying about we haven't seen the Texans play their best ball. Scary Terry McLaurin, that brother fitting to have a coming out party. As long as he don't have it on Thursday, I'm good. But I'm just saying, I know what Philadelphia is. I have seen it. I have watched it. No one ever on this show could ever say they know the Philadelphia Eagles better than me. They can try, but they will fail. But what I'm telling you is, again, I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, yes, we play the Pittsburghs of the world. Yes, we play the Baltimores of the world. We still have our division games that we have to go through. But again, everybody, and I'll put it to y'all like this, everybody, after the Saquon Barkley play of the year, if that play doesn't win play of the year, there's something wrong. I'm just going to say that right now. Everybody was like, did you see the jump with Saquon? Did you see what he did? And I'm watching the T-shirts and as you were saying, they're creating models of what happened. I'm like, yes, I saw it. But I also saw what happened immediately after that. The fact that there were Jacksonville Jaguar players who were hitting this brother square in his back to take him down because he embarrassed one of their players. That could have ended a lot worse. And I need Saquon to run through the postseason. Great. Highlight reel, top 10 ESPN sports play of the day. Everybody talked about it. This was one of the greatest things ever. Phenomenal. Great. Love it. Take a golf clap and keep it moving. But we brought Saquon in not for highlight reels. We brought him in to get us back to where we should be, in my opinion, which is in the conversation of a proverbial odds-on favorite, not only to win the division, but to win the entire NFC and go back to the Super Bowl. That's why we brought Saquon in. This backwards jump, hey, it's the icing, but ain't no cake right now. Okay?
I just think y'all a flat out better team than Washington. Like I don't.
Okay.
Y'all just better. I was talking about Detroit earlier, right? Like when you go out, like if you're the opposing coach and you got to go up to the whiteboard and you go, how do we beat Detroit? We're gonna take away Goff. We're gonna take away Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown. What are we gonna do? When you play Philly, you got to pick your poison, right? Who do we take away? Saquon Barkley, good to go. We're gonna let Jalen Hurts have a field day with these two phenomenal receivers he got, right? Well, we're gonna take the receivers away. Okay, Dallas Goddard, show us what you do. Oh, well, we're gonna go cover 2, and we're just gonna let Saquon run wild. Like there's no formula. You just gotta go out, as Denzel kept saying, you gotta play 60 minutes of football. You gotta outplay them for 60 minutes. And they're boasting the number 5 scoring defense in the NFL right now.
Oh, listen, Reed Blankenship. That first off, shout out to him because he wears my second favorite number. He wears number 32. And for those who may or may not know, Mike knows this. Ray, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but number 32 holds a special place in my heart because that was my father's number when he played softball. That was my dad's number. Like I have it when I go to the National Scouting Combine, shameless plug. That is my jersey. So the fact that Reed Blankenship, a dude that has shown up for our defense consistently, like when he goes out, I'm like almost in tears. I'm like, no, please come back. Whatever you got to do, come back. I agree with you, but like you, Ray, I remember last year when we were winning ugly games and then we got dog stomped by San Francisco and couldn't find ourselves. So that's where I'm at. I want to see us get back to that level. But like you have said continuously about your Detroit Lions, I guess we are having our moments. I'm just not there yet.
Man, listen.
Well, I'll wrap it on this with Washington saying with the Dan Quinn effect is his first year. And again, not just because he came from Dallas, but remember, I mean, obviously what he did in Seattle, we know there. I mean, the Legion of Boom, but the way the defense plays for him. I mean, it's a team that they have 27 sacks at this point. You figure, I mean, they lose, Chase Young and
Montez Sweat.
Martell Sweat, they're both gone. But yeah, he brings guys in that play with them. And it's like, okay, you got some vets. but they're getting after quarterbacks. And yeah, now it comes down to coverage. I mean, you look at Pittsburgh yesterday. I mean, yeah, the 1-point win. Yeah. I mean, Pittsburgh scored 7 points a quarter. So at 4 drives, they got 1 touchdown a quarter, but good enough to win. And they held, obviously they held Washington 1 point less. I mean, I will say, as much as it pains me, but to compliment, I mean, the way they're playing defense, and yeah, what Jaden Daniels is doing, I mean, he takes off and, he can run, but he's getting the ball downfield. I know 2 weeks ago, Terry McLaurin, to your point, when they traded Dotson, I was like, man, we were looking at it. So I'm like, man, he's coming over to he's going in division. But I remember saying to you, like, are they kind of, giving up offensively on their season? Those develop them. They're going to run the ball. They got Austin Eckler. We'll see what he can do. Well, I guess we can all, they're like, yeah, we know what we're doing, and which is working out for them. But yeah, I mean, I look how they're playing, the way they're playing defense, and yes, complimenting the ball and Jaden Daniels, not turning it over. But I mean, you're getting after the quarterback, and yeah, I mean, they're gonna. I mean, to have a chance to beat, Philly, or a chance to win the division, they're gonna have to. I mean, get to Jalen Hurts. But again, like you say, with your guy Saquon back there, makes it a lot tougher. But I mean, the way Washington's played defense, unfortunately, got to tip my cap to them. And I mean, I think it'll be a fun matchup. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Eric, there are 2 teams in the NFL right now. This is Ray's research. I just looked it up while I was sitting there. That are top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. The Detroit Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep. They talked about that last night on the broadcast too, Ray.
That's correct. I just pulled them both up and looked, and I'm kind of scanning through, like, looking for familiar names. Like Kansas City's top 10 in scoring defense with the offense. You guys are number 5 in scoring defense, number 7 in scoring offense. Right, like when you can win on both sides of the ball, man, you're dangerous. And again, I don't think Fangio is going to let a rookie quarterback. Like, that's going to be the difference when you play those guys. Yep. Fangio's going to expose every single weakness, right? And then again, I just think you guys are flat out better. You've been there, done that, more experience. You guys had a down year last year and still won 12, 13 games or something like that. Y'all 11. Looking, yeah, but y'all now, y'all looking like that team that went to the Super Bowl. That's y'all look like now.
Listen,
2 years ago, I was scared of y'all. This year, I ain't scared of y'all. I'm just saying, y'all look really good.
From your lips to God's ears, I'll see you in the NFC Championship game, and we can have that conversation, and may the better man win.
And you talk about Vic Fangio, Ray, that one thing there, too, is, I mean, look what obviously, Steelers defense. Look at Mike Tomlin. I mean, Daniels was 17 of 34. It wasn't 50%, no picks, but no touchdowns either. So it's like, yeah, I mean, a rookie quarterback, like, you gotta earn your stripes. And hey, he kept them in the game against Pittsburgh. I mean, they're obviously, 2 points away from winning it, but yeah, I think it'll be it'll be interesting. I think he could be running a little bit more, which obviously after the rib injury, like we talked about, they really don't want him to do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. I said I was going to do a rant, and I am going to do it, but I'm going to say goodnight to the gentlemen. Ray, much love to you. Thank you.
I'm standing in the back for this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then never mind.
Cowboys suck. Eagles beat them.
Let me just go ahead and do what I do then.
Swung on and hit in the air to deep left center.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of Eric's Rant. As you see across the bottom, I am just a loudmouth with an opinion. So whether you like it or not, here it goes. What can I say except thank you? Thank you to Jerry Jones. Thank you to Stephen Jones for completely just tearing down an organization. Now, listen. I understand on Jerry's 82nd birthday, he lost to the Detroit Lions. Well, I'm sorry, his team, America's team, lost to the Detroit Lions 47-9. And we all thought at that point, this is it. This is it. Dallas is going to find a way to return to some sort of mediocrity, some semblance of they know how to play the game on all 3 sides of the ball. I have had to listen to Mike talk about the Kellen Moores of the world, the Vic Vangios of the world, the Jason Garretts of the world, the Wade Phillips of the world. And you know what? Can we please, and even Mike McCarthy to some degree. Oh, hell, we were just talking about Dan Quinn. Can we please, for the final time, stop talking about the coaching staff of the Dallas Cowboys? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I've been saying this to y'all for years, and it still holds very true until Jerry and Stephen Jones give up control and just bask in their money. Spend time on the yacht. You ain't got to be on 105.3 The Fan every week talking about your team, Jerry. There are people who will do that for you. Hell, you could pay them to do it for you. But no, you have to be the one to consistently be on the mic. You have to be the one to continually talk about what your team is and what they gonna do and how they gonna figure it out. So riddle me this then, Batman. Because you got your ass up at halftime. You got up out of your chair in your luxury suite and you left the building? You left watching your team, Jerry? What? Never. Ever did I think it would ever get this bad for you. But here again, I mean, you know what? It was like, in the words of Cat Williams, I was smoking my lunch blunt and you just shocked the hell out of me. I cannot believe it. As an owner, as a fan, as the man who bought this team and has turned it into America's team for billions upon billions of dollars, you couldn't stay there and stomach that? This, Sir Jones, is the reason why your team will forever be the walking piece of mediocrity. And to all you Dallas Cowboy fans outside of the 9 that I love, honor, and respect, y'all might want to consider saving your money. Y'all might want to consider getting rid of some of them jerseys. Now, listen, I get it. Y'all got grandparents and aunties and uncles, and there's a lineage of the Dallas Cowboys from the 90s and probably before that you grew up in, so you just became a fan. But to all y'all Dallas Cowboy fans, I'm going to say from 98 on, get a clue, get a grip, get a life, and most importantly, get the hell out of Dallas while you still can, because I promise you this, it ain't going to get no better, at least as long as Jerry and Stephen Jones are running that team into the ground. Oh, and my last point, because I know they just paid Dak all that money. Public service announcement. Dak Prescott, I'm glad you got your bag, brother. But as soon as you can, get the hell out of Dallas. Because you are better than what you have been. And we all know it. You just need to figure it out. And if you don't believe me, go call the Queen of Hoop, Megan Price, and she'll tell you.
You let him talk about your team like that, Mike.
Damn right I will.
Of course.
Damn right I will.
Done it for years. Look.
No, we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Love y'all. We out the building. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Ray Lynn. Shout out to Denzel. For the Sports Arena, I'm your man, Eric Wilson. Peace.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.